You're listening to End of the Reel.
Oh my god!
G'day everyone, today we're doing Twilight 3, Breaking Dawn?
Eclipse,
Hey,
I think.
it's the third one, and that's what I'm going to call it as.
Yeah.
Twilight, so it starts off, folks, if you don't know, we're doing Twilight, listen to the other two, because if you get into this third movie, you'll be lost. Actually, no, I can sum it all up. Edward sucks, Bella sucks, Jacob sucks.
The rest of it's kind of interesting,
Not only that.
which just makes it more irritating that it's like there's this interesting vampire, werewolf, evil vampire thing going on, and we are trapped with shitty love triangle.
I will say, the actual world, okay, cutting out Edward, Bella, and Jacob, great.
Yeah.
The setup
Well, it's
for
like,
vampires
if
versus
you
werewolves
cut
versus
out-
vampires.
If you cut out Bella, Jacob, and Edward and just have it as local sheriff
Trying
gets
to find,
involved in a serial killer thing
but then finds out
and then gets
wolves
dragged
and
into
stuff.
like the werewolves and the
And
vampires,
the werewolf,
that would be kind of interesting.
How good was it? Like, okay, so it's like the law's pretty solid. It's a solid thing for.
It's
No,
it's okay.
It is, because I've seen like Underworld.
It's more interesting than the trio.
Well, what I'm saying is like Underworld, right?
Yeah.
It's got pretty shit lore. I've seen them. It's not great. They're a bit more goofy than these, but the difference is that it's not filmed like a romance movie, right?
Yeah, it's an action film.
While this film is
lot
filmed,
of leather.
Yes, exactly. While this film is filmed like a teenage romance movie, which is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, we always have to remind ourselves we are fully grown men who are now 10 years later watching teenage romance movies. Okay.
A horrible teen romance story.
Well,
Movie.
yes and no.
The romance is horrible.
Oh, the romance?
Yeah.
Horrible. It's terrible messages. Codependency? Oh my god.
Jacob has gone from sort of likable in the first movie to weird in the second one when he becomes a
Bit
werewolf.
weird in the second
And in
one.
this one, he is flat out psychotic. He is past Edward in strangeness.
Edward's kind of dialed it down. Edward, you
Edward
understand that he's just a
because-
weird guy.
After the first film, it's like, that's it. That's all we need to know about Edward. He has nothing in his life,
Oh yeah.
and he lives only to please Bella.
Could you imagine how
And that's
boring?
it. That's all he is.
Just imagine how boring you have to be to be
Yeah.
109 years old, right?
Yeah.
You are forever young. You're 100 years
and you're so desperately insecure. This 16-year-old
you
werewolf
have-
is beating you.
You have superpowers. You can read people's minds.
Yeah.
And what does he do with it? Nothing. He has no hobbies. He
Stands
doesn't do
around
anything.
watching Bella.
What do we know? He plays piano.
Does he?
Yeah, in the first one he plays the piano.
I can't even remember that.
It's just what a boring person he is. If I was a vampire, you would come over and there would be like my house would
No,
be.
doesn't he listen to music?
Oh fuck!
He listens to music and he
Wow.
goes to school.
What a unique little butterfly. Isn't he meant to be good at chemistry or something like that?
No, he was in chemistry.
I mean, of course he's good at chemistry. This is actually
Is
I
he?
did float that
Yeah.
idea.
That they actually suck at school and
They
he's
su-
failing.
Everyone else except for Edward, like they're of course getting like straight A's, and Edward's always getting like C's or D's, and everyone's like, Edward, you graduated like 20 times.
They keep changing the courses.
It's so-
Slavery's bad now?
Yeah,
What's happening?
yeah. His whole like essay was about when he owned slaves. They're like,
Well, we found out that Jasper, all the side characters are way more interesting and actually have backstory.
Jasper was
We
cool.
find out he's like a Confederate soldier. He was
Right.
like roped into being a lieutenant for this evil vampire.
Right? That was cool.
That was pretty good.
Because it turns out that the vampires would fight each other, and the thing is, I need
I mean,
armies to
the
fight for
character
them.
development in these movies is so weird. It's like you don't learn about the characters. It's like it'll get to a character and then it'll go, and here's his backstory, and
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
each have their own little
Flashback
flashback.
sequence, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it's not great. Like, let's go with that. It's
I
not.
still don't know what each of the vampires have a
Mhm.
special power.
Yep.
Out of the Cullen group,
Mm-hmm.
I know Edward can read minds.
Yep.
Alice can see sometimes visions of the future, although that gets less and less certain because she's become less useful as time goes on.
Mhm.
Very plot orientated sort of power. What do the others have?
Jasper
Yeah,
is meant to be young.
no,
But-
he's not.
And he's meant to be what? No. Let's stay
He's
with me.
he's older than Edward.
Yeah. So I thought he was meant to be younger than Edward.
I think he's
I
stopped.
thought he was meant to be
I think
new.
he's stopped drinking blood more recently.
Okay.
Human blood.
Yeah, that's what I think
I
too.
think that either that or they've just. I think some of the characters have changed since the last one.
Yeah.
Like she realized that she needed to make some changes. Like suddenly there's a couple of female werewolves now.
Yeah.
So it's not just
That's good.
a
That's
weird
good.
group of guys hanging out shirtless.
Yeah.
There's now a token woman,
Yes. It's all right.
which is she has more lines than all the
They're
other
still
werewolves
all
put
dude.
together.
They're still all dude bros.
Yeah,
I hate the werewolves.
they're weirdly aggressive and friendly and dude bro-ish.
I hate them. I hate them
Yeah.
so much.
I
Yeah,
don't
you know
get
what
them.
is? They're
Are
entitled.
any of them over 20?
Yeah, maybe.
I think like the Sam
I
one.
don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
fucking know. All I know is the werewolves kind of do suck. They suck. Oh, they're not werewolves either.
There's spirit warriors.
Spirit
they're
warrior
not
things.
straight up werewolves because
I-
I think they only get their powers when there are like vampires around or something.
No, I'm not totally sure because you said that when the vampire's around, their magic gets incited more. But I think they still would be
Yeah.
spirit warrior people. It's just that they're so lame
What? The werewolves? Or
because they attack everyone. They're just I just
they're
don't like
defending
them.
their territory. I kind of get what they're doing with them.
Not against the Cullens. It's been so long.
They
Like the
don't
Cullens
like
have been.
vampires.
I get that they don't like vampires. Okay,
Yeah.
I get that. But I also am like they should learn a little. Like
I think they've
reached
just been
peace treaties.
avoiding each other this
Yeah.
entire time, and now Bella has like forced them to come together because for some reason, both Edward and Jacob's groups are obsessed with protecting Bella,
Yeah.
and no one there's the one blonde vampire who you're like, oh, has she got a problem with her? It's like, no, she just doesn't want her to become a vampire because she thinks vampires are evil.
How hard?
Also, again, another character with a better backstory than everyone else.
Everyone
She-
has a better
she
backstory
ends
than
up
Bella.
finding the guys who gang raped her
Yeah,
and
killing
executing them while she's dressed in her wedding dress she was going to wear.
a bit.
That was pretty
You know what?
interesting.
That
It was
was
a bit
funny.
over the top, but it was good.
But then even the character. This is what I like about this show. Even the character goes, "Yeah, I was a bit dramatic back then."
yeah.
Good. Fair
And then-
enough.
So you've got this, like, in the 2 minutes that we learn her backstory, she has
Mhm.
become more interesting than Bella. I don't know her name or what her power is because we have so many side characters that we learn lots about but still don't know anything about somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I just think the whole backstory of the lore of like the vampires fighting each other, having to like raise armies, but the younger people or like the newer vampires are stronger
Because
technically.
they've still got human blood in them. That was kind of cool.
They say they're stronger, but man, they fucking destroyed.
Yeah, but they didn't know how
those-
to do anything, though.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I thought all of that was pretty cool,
Yeah.
and that's what I want more because that's why I said imagine this film, but instead someone wanted to they took the whole
If
story.
you just took Edward, Bella,
Yeah.
and fucking Jacob out.
No. Just imagine this film, but directed like an action film.
Yeah.
This could be sick.
Well, there's a lot more action in this film than the previous
because
ones.
this honestly I think has a better storyline, like or lore, than some of the like good action films about vampires. And I can only think of Underworld,
Yeah.
which gets very convoluted. I think it's quite silly.
In this second one where it turns out... I can't remember why he becomes a
Dude, they're
werewolf.
so obsessed with the hybrid thing. It's just dumb.
Ugh,
I don't
hybrids
know.
are the worst.
I don't even think they're the worst. I don't think they're actually bad enough to be on our show.
Isn't the fourth one meant to be really bad?
From what I heard, it just is kind of the same strain, where it's just kind of going.
They were always kind of boring. But anyway,
Yeah,
back to
the first one was good.
back to Eclipse.
Yeah.
So the Venturi, who we saw in the last one,
Yes.
they sort of want Edward and Alice to join up.
Oh my goodness.
So their plan is to let the Cullens die. So Victoria, the vampire from the very first movie, the bad one,
hmm
she is raising an army of new bloods
Yes.
who are or newborn, who are like fresh vampires who are like still crazy.
Uh-huh.
And all the humans think there's just like a really powerful serial killer in Seattle.
Yeah, a powerful serial killer who can somehow like rip car doors open and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But anyway,
So the Venturi are going to let them attack because they're pretty sure the Cullens will win, but most of them will be wiped out.
yeah.
So then Edward and Alice will just join up cause. What they don't know is that, Yeah, the vampires and the werewolves aren't incredibly stupid. Like, they're stupid, but they're not that stupid, so they join
I
forces.
think it's just because we see Jacob and Edward.
Yeah,
And
they are just
those two.
they spend 90% of the film staring daggers at each other
Because you
like,
know what?
Either like making out with or hugging Bella.
I think the chief, was it the chief? I don't know now. The chief
The guy in
and
the wheelchair, Jacob's dad.
is that Jacob's dad?
The guy in the wheelchair. Yeah.
Okay, I think he and the other vampire head dude, the head Cullen guy,
Mhm.
they seem to be like, thank you. Yeah, they seem pretty civil to each other.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just because we always, whenever we see them like talking to each other, it's always been Edward and Jacob, and Edward and Jacob are just having a whose dick is big enough match.
Constantly, and it's so weird. Okay.
Yeah, let's complain about that massive thing between this. This is the this is the worst one.
Because
this one.
50% of the film is this interesting vampire war thing with the werewolves.
Loved it.
Interesting. And it's got
I liked it.
all the interesting characters in that. You've got all the different Cullens.
Yep.
You learn some of the history and backstory to the werewolves, which is okay.
It was alright, yeah. Yeah.
And you've got the evil vampires who are doing the whole New Blood and the Venturi thing.
That's
kind
pretty
of
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
The other 50% of the film is dealing with Bella, Edward, and Jacob, and it is awful.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's the same shit every freaking time.
Bella will just stand there while the two guys posture at each other. Literally, there was like a 20-minute thing where they're in a tent and they're just staring at each other.
So essentially,
Edward making faces, and Jacob like smirking and shit.
Essentially, it's Edward going, she loves me, and then Jacob's like, no, she loves me, and then
you shouldn't turn into a vampire. I know, I don't want to turn into a vampire.
Oh my god. They had the same conversation the entire way through. And that's the thing. Then Bella's in the middle going, I love you, Edward. I'll get married to you. And then Jacob will be like, and she'll be
you
like,
love me too. I know.
And she's like, oh.
It's like, I can tell you feel for me.
Doesn't.
And she's just like,
she doesn't at all.
Yeah, Edward, you're nice. That's one of the problems. She can't just tell him,
it's
no,
all her fault.
Jacob, you got to find someone else.
All of this is her fault.
Because she keeps...
Kind of.
She sends weird messages. Like, she's trying to avoid him. Like, it is...
Oh, wait, is it all her fault?
Totally his fault.
I would
Jacob
say...
goes from, like, kind of over the top in the last one to weird stalker in this one.
Oh, sending the weird messages towards Jacob, I would say is 100% her fault.
There weren't that many. And she is pretty... She does tell him, like, multiple times. It's right at the end when he's going to fight. She doesn't want her two favorite toys to go and fight.
Yeah.
So Edward will stay back, but Jacob wants to go fight. So she's like, "I know, Jacob, but I do love you." And she starts making out with him.
What the fuck was that?
Because she doesn't want to lose her other favorite toy.
Though I won't lie, when we're watching this movie, because we are saying Edward is better than Jacob at this point. So we're describing Edward's the type of guy who will crawl through your window and then watch you sleep. Okay. Yeah. But Jacob's the kind of guy who will crawl through your window and then lay in the bed next to you, like roping you while you sleep.
Which turns out was true in the tent thing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So there's.
I was just thinking of the forced kiss where he like.
Oh yeah. For some reason they're forced to spend time together, because the plot demands. No.
I did get that Jacob was like.
Jacob carries her around multiple times for no reason. Like what? Her legs broke. Why is he carrying her all the time?
Because of his smell.
He doesn't need to like pick her up and carry her.
He smell.
Okay.
If she walks around, she'll get her scent on everything.
Which is what they wanted later on.
No, but not at that point. They don't want the scent to... How did they even find them?
At the end.
How did Victoria and her
second lieutenant find
sex boy
No, they explained that. All the New Bloods were following her scent, which was down in the ambush area.
Yep.
She didn't sense Edward there, and she knew Edward would be with her. So she went to look for Edward.
That's so obvious.
That was actually okay. I didn't mind that bit.
That's so obvious. Why would you send Edward with her?
Yeah. Because she wanted Edward to be with her.
Oh,
because they do the whole every time we're apart goes bad. But there's a section where they're walking around, and Jacob is going on about how he'll fight for her and everything, and she's just like, Jacob, I do like Edward, okay?
Yeah.
And he just holds her and then starts making out with her, and she's like not into it at all.
No, she punches him, rightfully.
Yeah.
I'm behind Bella on this one. Fuck Jacob at this point.
Right.
Jacob is weird, man.
Also, I like how it's like
I even agree with
her
Edward.
dad starts to like Edward more when he finds out Edward won't have sex with her.
No, yeah, that was
And then Jacob, he is down for that.
Because the writer's a Mormon.
Okay.
No,
I don't know.
We found out.
All about you've been looking this
Apparently,
up.
someone actually, you know, I haven't
about
actually
it.
looked it up. Someone just told me it, so
See,
I hope that's right.
See, her being a Mormon does not influence how
How?
I'm
It's
viewing
so
this movie.
obvious.
No, it's not. It's not influencing how I am viewing the movie.
Oh no, I'm just saying I see where some of the inspiration comes from. That's why it's all
Are werewolves big in the Mormon faith?
massive.
Okay.
Every Mormon, they carry around 2 books with them. 1, Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, Book of Werewolf
Law.
Law.
Couldn't even come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
Book of Werewolf Law.
And vampires. Dracula's a
But
close third.
yeah, Edward's got. He's irritating. Like, but he's irritating, but he's not as bad as Jacob. She.
Here's the other thing too.
There's a weird thing about sex in this movie
Here's the
where
other thing,
everyone
right.
is already. Everyone's like surprised that Edward and Bella aren't having sex.
Yeah, I'm
like the
surprised too.
dad was like, "You guys have been playing it safe, right?" It's like, "We haven't had sex." It's like, "Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay."
I would
Weird.
have heard it. Finger
Aren't
banged
you
you.
engaged?
Yeah.
You're gonna get married before you have sex. Like that's the big thing. And Edward's the only one pushing for it. Even the other Cullens are like, "You guys have been having sex,
You
right?"
know, the only thing is that this is the weird thing is that Edward, Bella, and Jacob feel so strange, and then like in the movie's like, yeah, they're weird.
They are weird.
Other people are like, yeah, that's weird. That's why I kind of like this movie because it's one of those movies where other people are like, no, that's weird what you just did. That was weird.
It's always good when some of the I think the only werewolf girl, Leah, who's the daughter of the guy who got killed in the last movie, is like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go out and put our necks on the line to save Bella again." That chick who keeps getting everybody in trouble.
Yeah,
It's
fair
like,
enough.
yeah.
I will say though, the werewolves. The reason I still don't like them is just because they're so aggressive and dangerous. Like they seem to be more dangerous to their own people. That's
I don't
the
know.
problem.
The only problem we
That's the
only
problem.
see them around vampires. So
The thing is too no, because in the second one when she slapped the dude and then he turns into a werewolf to like attack her.
Well, she shouldn't have hit him. Like
He-
that was uncalled for.
Okay, I get that.
Like hitting
but
Jacob.
There's a difference
totally
though.
right. Yeah.
You don't retaliate by turning into your superpower, jumping over and going to rip off her face. That is not cool.
I still find it hilarious that every time they transform, they rip a new pair of clothes.
Oh my god, yeah, and I find it hilarious even when someone's like brutally damaged. They're like, quick, I gotta hide behind this rock, then change into my clothes, then run out.
Oh yeah.
Right? Just go out naked, guys, it's alright.
They must have that forest must be filled with stashes of clothes for them.
Oh my
That's the only way
god,
it
right?
makes sense.
I bet if you're like hiking through there, you'd be like, why are there all these guys' clothes around here? Are
either
they just a bunch of
I'm like-
naked men running around?
either have it that they can transform with their clothes, and you know
Mhm.
what? I'm fine with it. If you never bring it up, fine. Or they just go naked. At a certain point, the whole
Oh.
in between thing they're doing, it just becomes ridiculous.
I say go naked.
Just transform with the clothes.
No, go naked.
It's a magical transformation. I don't mind if they keep the clothes
Just go
on.
naked.
Okay. Well, that's what
Okay.
you want.
Just go naked.
Okay.
Just be one with nature. Go naked. It doesn't make any sense. But the thing with the werewolves, I guess it's because we're only seeing Jacob though, so we're a bit biased. But Edward is like, I don't want you near Jacob. He's dangerous, and he's
and then
right.
Jacob comes up and is like, "I'm gonna kill you if you ever touch her." And it's
He's
like,
right. Yeah, he's right because every time we see Jacob, then
He's acting out of control.
He's acting out. He's like, oh, and he's gonna like kill her, and he's gonna kill people. He's like, that's right. He's so angry. He's like, I gotta go kill something. It's like, yeah, fuck. Stay
He is
away
kinda
from him.
dangerous,
Hey,
yeah.
we've got like the vegan dude over here. I mean, he's not vegan, but
The vampire, the
in
Cullens are all
vampire-
vegan. Well,
no, in
they're
vampire
not
terms, they're
killing
vegan.
humans. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
kinda
know what I
interesting.
mean.
Yeah,
We've got like the hippie vampire over here who, yeah, he's weird. All right, I will
he is
accept.
a blank tablet.
He's just a weird guy. He's boring as hell. But hey, at least he's not like, I want to go kill something. Oh, you didn't do what I said.
Well,
I'm
in
gonna
the
kill
first book,
something.
he wanted to kill her, but I think he's gotten over that to a point.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. He's gotten a lot more normal, and Jacob is now an unstable, killing machine who has threatened Bella multiple times.
I remember when the movies came out, there was a huge, Team Jacob, Team Edward thing, and they were wearing
Team
shirts.
Edward, man.
I don't get where this has come from, but because at no point have I thought she would ever go with Jacob.
Never.
Jacob.
She's never
the
done
only
Jacob.
reason she would go with Jacob is to make Edward jealous.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the only time she does go with Jacob. Is because
know.
Edward tells her not to.
Jacob jumps in the car and scares her. It's just very weird.
Yeah. And here's the thing, 50% of the film is this relationship. And it is awful. The worst part is it culminates towards the end. The evil vampires and their horde are coming to kill her, led by Victoria and her lieutenant. And to hide from them, she goes up onto the mountain after they've been told multiple times there's a big storm coming. Like, they mention it a number of times.
I just realized, like...
And apparently, she's hiding up there with Edward and Jacob, and she's so cold. Like, she's wearing layers and everything. Like, it can't be that cold. I mean, or maybe prepare better. I don't know. But, of course, Jacob can't do it. Edward can't do anything because he's a frozen corpse.
Yeah.
So Jacob comes in and just goes, well, guess we better strip off and lie naked next to each other.
Yeah.
And there's this awkward part where he is cuddling up against her naked in the bed, and Edward is just sitting there watching, just staring, looking sad. The whole time. I don't think he has that many lines in this movie.
Edward?
He just looks sad and distressed.
Edward looks so constipated. He's like...
And then you cut down to Jacob smirking at him.
Yeah, because Jacob's finger banging her underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably got a whole dick in. He's probably got the tip in.
I think she has to be pretending to be asleep because the two of them have a
Bella.
20-minute conversation about her.
This is probably like the hottest thing to get Bella off.
Yeah. She enjoys it. She likes the idea of these two guys going after her.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is the one thing I didn't get. Why didn't he just transform into a wolf?
What, him?
To warm her up.
That would keep her a lot warmer, but I don't think he would have fit in the tent.
Yeah.
Jared, be logical, okay? This movie has some consistency.
There's also a weird bit where they romanticize the past, which is very teenage.
Well, that's the whole Edward getting married thing.
Yeah, he's like, in the past.
He wants to do this sort of the proper way. It's like, yeah.
In the past, the proper way, I'd court you, and then I'd ask your father, then I'd... Get the fuck out of here. You've been reading too much Pride and Prejudice,
and then eventually we'd get married. And then finally we'd have our wedding night.
You're from an age of polio, World War, all this shit. And they're like, oh no, in the past, everyone would court each other. And then, they
he's
wouldn't.
Coming across as some, like,
Posh
18th century
aristocrat.
dandy or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's what you should expect from a movie for teenage girls about romance.
But that's the thing. All of the other vampires seem to have a more interesting backstory. They're the ones we've heard about anyway, which is just Jasper and blonde chick.
Yep. They all do. Even, I don't know, they all do. So Jasper was a Confederate soldier? Major?
After the werewolves and the vampires join forces, Jasper begins
training
I didn't get
what Jasper actually helped them with.
Oh, he was telling them basically not to get into a grapple fight with them, which is the only way any of them get hurt. And just to be careful. Oh, well, we see them sparring. I think that's meant to have happened a few times, but the thing is Bella isn't there, so it's not important.
Okay.
Only Bella is important.
I thought the whole sparring thing was a bit silly, but that's right.
Jasper trains them all, and he goes into his backstory where it's like, yeah, he was a Confederate soldier, and he got turned into a vampire. Yeah. And she used him to train an army of newborn, and they were fighting and stuff.
That's why he's so good at killing newborns or something like that.
And of course, after this, Bella realizes it must be Victoria training the newborns.
Holy shit.
Which I'm like, I thought they'd already realized it had to be Bella, right?
Also,
it had to be Victoria.
There were so many deaths at this point. It really would be a really interesting story if it followed the cop.
Seattle must be a nightmare city because there's a group of like 40 people going around drinking everyone's blood uncontrollably.
How much cooler would have it been if it was following some cops trying to get these vampires and they have to get other vampires?
That's
to
why
hunt the
it should be the
vampires?
sheriff, should be the dad.
Fuck, that'd be so cool. Imagine you being a cop and then being like, oh, fuck the vampires. And then you have to get the good vampires to help you with the werewolves.
Also, what's Victoria's power?
Victoria?
Yeah.
I
Not getting
know.
caught, I guess. Because This is like the 4th time we've seen her fleeing from both the Cullens and the werewolves, and she escapes like 3 times in this film.
She somehow runs past. Like, her main thing is running.
Yeah.
She is good at running because in the 3 movies that we see her in, she is constantly running everywhere. Oh, actually, I will say this movie out of the 3 that we've seen, I felt looked the best.
I would agree with you, except for one scene.
Are you talking
Okay.
about the school scene with
Yeah.
shaky cam?
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares?
The one scene where
Yeah, it's
she
one
actually
scene.
has contact with her regular friends.
I just felt like they
and
made
which
them...
is I thought it was good that it's like they're mixing them with the Cullens now. So it's not like she has 2 weird sets
Oh,
of
yeah,
group.
that was weird.
Yeah.
It still doesn't feel like she's part of them.
They-
she just
she
gets
sits-
in there.
Yeah, she sits down to talk to them because it's like her deigning to talk to them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the movie decided to use both a shaky cam and to quick cut between each of their heads as they're talking. Like, it was almost like a comedy where it's like anytime one of them's talking, it'll immediately jump to them and start shaking around.
Yeah.
But nothing's happening. They're planning a party.
Do you like that fact? I've realized this is going to be a short podcast just because of the fact that it's like...
Because apart from the cool vampire stuff,
we talk about the cool
nothing
backstory.
happens.
Yeah, and that's
It's
the thing.
just their shitty love triangle.
It's just Edward and Jacob and Bella constantly being like, I love you. Oh, you don't love
they
me. I
set a
do
date
love
for
you.
their marriage, which
Yeah.
even she's like, if you turn me into a
Oh
vampire,
my God.
90% of our problems would disappear overnight.
Dude, nearly every single problem would go
Yeah.
if they just turned her into a vampire.
He
you know
starts
what?
going on
if
about
they just turned her into
he
the vampire,
thinks he is like literally a soulless monster.
if they just turned her into a vampire, Jacob wouldn't be like constantly going after her or be sad. Like he would have to.
I think they've got some weird treaty thing where it's like they're not allowed to turn people.
Yeah, but they're allowed to turn them outside.
But they could just go to another town.
Yeah.
Why are they in this town? She's planning to go to Alaska.
Oh yeah, they go to the mum for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, because she's still a part of their life.
And also, we're unsure. Can she get pregnant if she's a vampire?
I don't know.
We talked about that. And we both do not know.
Because I think that's one of the blonde vampires things is she sort of misses a regular life. Although she talks about it, it's like, oh yeah, I'll never grow old on the porch. And I'm like, why would you want to do that? That sounds awful.
Holy shit. I hate every movie where I'm a vampire. I hate it. What do you do with your time? I just sulk
Sit
all the
and
time.
brood.
Well, no wonder you suck.
Well, no, but she doesn't do that. She
Get
goes to
some
school
hobbies.
and she hangs out with her boyfriend, who she apparently
Learn
loves.
to cut bonsai trees. If I was a vampire, I said this before, but if I was a vampire, you're walking in my house. There'll be like intricate carvings everywhere.
You know, is the father the only one who seems to have like a job,
Yeah.
and a career,
Yep.
and
all,
he seems
all the
to
others just
enjoy
go to
healing
school.
people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what his wife does.
I don't know.
Does she just
was
stay at
kind of
home?
in it.
Is that why when there's a little girl vampire with the newborns and we see her a few times,
hmm
and I think it's just to build up, oh, they're not going to kill her anyway.
Yeah.
At the end, the Cullen mum and the Cullen dad are like, this will be your new pet. You can have her. That'll keep you busy at home.
But what happens is the
Well, we
The-
don't actually see her die. Maybe she's still alive. Who knows?
who is it?
Because it cuts to black as the Venturi come up.
The
to,
Venturi
rip the
come
head
up
off.
and like, we'll kill her, and you're like, all right. The other thing I got to point out is
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is setting up for a bigger conflict between the
Yeah.
Cullens and the Venturi
with the with the
werewolves
wolves.
on the side.
Yeah, and I will say that the other thing is with this movie that there's a line that they love saying, variations of it, and they love saying in every single film so far,
Mhm.
which is they deserve to know. What's his name deserves to know. She deserves to know. You deserve to know. They have said that so
To be
many.
fair, I don't
goddamn
understand why they're
times.
keeping things from Bella at this point.
No, they
So-
say about everything. Jacob deserves to know. Your dad deserves to know. All the
Yeah,
time.
and they're usually right.
They are
There
normally
is
right. Yeah.
very poor communication.
But the wolves take her in and tell her
Yeah,
about their.
Victoria keeps coming
thing.
around trying to hunt you.
I'm just amazed when she's like, "Oh, it's Victoria." How do you not know this?
Because the
It's
vampires
been-
didn't tell her anything.
It's been 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's been one person. And they did have a chase scene where they were both trying to like get her, and that annoyed the hell out of me because it was like, if you guys just work together for 1 second,
No,
you'd
at that
get
point,
it.
that was before they
Why
started
was she
working
even
together.
running through at that point?
Victoria?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's scouting the area
Why?
because she's still after Bella.
How about when she sends her fuckboy
Yeah.
into Bella's house when Bella was sleeping?
When Bella's dad is sleeping.
Oh, Bella wasn't there?
No, she turns up with Edward later,
Ah.
remember?
I thought she was. You said why didn't he kill her?
Yeah, why didn't he kill her? If he
Well,
could,
he's
no,
not.
that's
She's
the thing.
not there.
Before then, before they
How is she meant to
realized,
kill him if
why
she's
didn't
not
she?
there?
He just go there when she's there and kill her?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like the vampires are doing a really good job. Why isn't anyone just going to Bella's house and killing
You know
her?
what? I'm just gonna say Victoria's thing is she wants to kill all the Cullens as well. Maybe because they did kill her boyfriend.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that kind of makes sense.
That guy who does he even have a line?
Who?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, the guy from the first one.
Yeah,
The one who was just a hunter.
that was not a good one.
Yeah,
the
we're
first film.
introduced to so many different characters in this one. It's
Bring
like
back the baseball.
all the Cullens are starting to get backstories. A couple of the werewolves are getting backstories. There's
Wolves.
the two kids from of the chief who died in the
That was
last
more
movie
interesting.
are turning into werewolves.
Again, though, everything is more interesting than Bella, Jacob, and Edward.
Yeah,
Everything. The dad
the
seems to be
Venturi,
interesting.
who come across as annoying teens, are more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. This movie kind of felt like nothing. I feel like they should have had a baseball scene.
I think this was just
Oh my god, a baseball scene with the wolves.
yeah, wolves versus vampires.
That would be
baseball.
cool. Yeah.
Or they do mixed teams
How does a wolf bat?
with its fangs. Cool.
Man, that's
Holds
silly.
it in its mouth,
It's not. We're not playing Dark
or
Souls
it spins around and hits it with its tail.
here. Oh yeah. I
There's
still,
a lot of ways, Jared.
I still reckon the only thing, and I said it the other day too, is that where this show looks stupid because of
Mhm.
it is the super speed that they all have.
It still looks better than the first
That's
one.
the one
when
thing
they
I-
were
no, no,
literally
no.
just blurred.
Oh no, I just think if they just didn't have the super speed ability, this movie would be so much better.
If they didn't have the super speed ability, they'd be taking cars everywhere,
Everything
just
would-
like the werewolves do, and it'd be stupid.
everything would be better. They would be cool vampire. Everything would be better if they
Mhm.
just all didn't have the super speed.
And if they just
Because
walked
the thing is,
normally,
you know how like this is the thing that gets me. So apparently the vampires have the super speed, right?
yeah,
So when you see them running, they're like, whoosh, right? But the wolves are faster than the vampires.
yeah.
So it's just silly.
What?
It's like you can't even see them. They're fucking faster than light at this point.
Jared.
It's just silly.
Okay, I don't know why
It's
you caught up on the
silly.
speed thing.
I just- the
Okay, that
speed
is like
thing,
the least
If
annoying thing to
only
me.
she hadn't written in the speed thing, this
I don't even think
entire
it's that bad.
series
The
would be better.
vampires are faster.
Hey, and
That's just that works.
What do you see when they fight too? Everything's in fucking slow mo anyway.
Well, because we're seeing it from their perspective.
Yeah, of course.
Thankfully,
because
Bella is out of the
they
way.
know slow mo. They know super speed looks.
I mean, it
super
already looks
dumb.
pretty fast.
Get rid of the super speed.
All right, all
You
right.
know, it just what movie does super speed well? The Matrix. Okay, what other movie? Not me.
Justice League, Jared.
Fuck.
No, that's pretty bad.
That's it because I think we're gonna.
What about the X-Men ones where it's got that Magneto's kid who can go
Yeah, but there's
fast?
one dude.
Yeah.
They don't all have super speed. Super speed for all your characters kind of. The problem is it's a bit dumb because then it's like you want to show the fight scenes, right?
Mm,
So it means then you're gonna get their perspective. That's why I didn't get.
what?
So from their perspective, it's not super speed because they're all actually fast, right?
What do you mean?
Okay. To us as a human,
Yeah.
you see them running real fast. You're like, whoa, shit,
But
right?
they're just running
But to
normally
them,
to them.
To them, that's their way of running, right?
So,
Okay. Why is it then there'll be scenes where like when she like tries to do Victoria tries to do a random dash past Edward or at Edward? Why is it that he doesn't see it coming?
what do you mean?
Because he'll always be like, she'll be like, ooh, and then it's like jump at him. But because he also has the super speed ability,
Yeah.
he should see her coming and just be like, oh yeah, she's running at me, and go to like stop her. They always
he
get
usually
surprised.
does.
No, they always get surprised by it. It just annoys the fuck out of
Yeah,
me.
I
It-
think,
it
I think
annoys me.
You've
It annoys me because
you've
if you
latched
both
onto
have,
like the least thing in this movie.
it annoys the hell
that
out of
is
me.
so small.
If you're both,
You didn't
got
even
the
mention
ability,
the fact that the newborns
That's just
walk
normal
from
speed for you.
Seattle to this town underwater.
What?
Did you even notice that? You're
Underwater?
glued to your phone. That's your problem.
Yeah, this
You
one
missed
was
the
This one
visuals.
was a boring film.
No, the problem with the film
Nah,
is
this
it's
one was more boring.
an hour too long, and it's filler. It's setting
I
up
looked up
for the
every
big
time.
Venturi fight.
Every time Edwin, Jacob, or Bella were not on the screen, I looked up
Yeah,
Pretty
which is
much.
which is half the film.
because again, the rest it's the same shit. That's it for this film, I believe. We will do number before.
Well, so yeah, the movie
Ooh.
ends with Victoria and all the other minor characters have been wiped from the board.
Mm-hmm.
The vampires and the Cullens, the werewolves and the Cullens sort of have an uneasy alliance. And Bella and Edward's marriage is set for April?
I don't know.
Whatever.
It's 1 month before she's born.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to get any older.
Yeah.
Her
She's got a
thing,
huge thing
She
about
does not want to
age.
get old. And you know what? Fair enough.
She's the perfect vampire.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's the film. We are going to, though, hit out number 2 and 4. Probably bring out a bit closer so we break between these.
Maybe do the last two films as one, since they're part 1 and 2.
What?
I don't know.
Are they
we'll
part
see.
1 and 2?
Yeah.
You could really tell this was the middle
What's
film,
left?
couldn't you?
It's just going to be them fighting the Venturi.
But you know
for
what I
some
mean? You could
reason.
tell out of like the movies that this is the middle one.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much to it. It's just
No.
the middle. It's a
Well,
placeholder.
there wasn't that. Oh, there was a bit to the last one, I guess. But
This was the middle one. No problem. Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next time to get more Twilight love. Thanks for listening to The End of the Reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies, share this podcast around to them. Sharing is the best way to help promote our podcast.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye bye.